Good afternoon. As I'm recording this, it's late in the afternoon on Thursday, March the 4th. As many of you know, we are planning on being back in person for worship this coming Sunday on the 7th. Our first time back in our churches since late December. Um, Things have changed a lot since then. If you've been paying attention at all, you know that the climate uh, related to the pandemic is far different than it was a couple of months ago. The number of new cases has plummeted since it peaked in like the 10th or 11th of January. And the number of people in the hospital now are only like a third of what they were at its peak. The number of new deaths every day is declining. The vaccination program is beginning to pick up steam. So there's a lot of reason to be hopeful, a lot of reason to be excited about our future. I can sort of see the light at the end of the tunnel for this thing. It's not over yet, but I feel like I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And so we will be back in church this Sunday for worship in person. Just wanted to take a couple of minutes and talk about what we're doing and why we're doing it. So we'll be back in person for worship. And what we'll be doing will be similar to what we had done before we had to go out at the end, in late December. It'll be similar in that we're asking people to wear a mask and to spread out, which are probably the two most important things you can do to slow down the spread of this thing. So we'll ask you to wear a mask. We'll have some of the pews blocked off just like they had been before. We will be singing, but with our mask on, and only for the last hymn. Because singing produces lots of aerosols, and hence it is one of the chief ways you can spread this nasty stuff. But on the other hand, we know that it is not spread much, if at all, via contact with surfaces. So we've got hymnals and pew Bibles back in the rack, so they'll be there for you to use on Sunday and the following Sundays after that. We'll be using bulletins at both churches. Be using bulletins, but I prefer not to have a greeter pass them out. We can leave them on a table, and people can pick them up as they come in. Again, that's the way that we can at least stay a few feet apart from each other. Just be safer that way. We won't be doing an offertory as such with ushers passing a plate. That enables us to be spread out some. There'll just be a plate at the back of the sanctuary at each church where you can put your offering in as you come in or as you exit, however you choose to do that. We'll be doing communion this Sunday. For the time being, we'll be doing it with the individual little cups, individual little pieces of bread. Again, as a safety precaution, and we'll do that for the next little bit. Exactly how long, I can't say at this point. It's not my preferred means of doing communion, but we can make an adaptation for a couple of months or so and err on the side of caution with this. But I am tremendously optimistic as I sit here now in my outdoor office. I'm really optimistic at the number of new cases in the state every day. The positive test percentage rate was lowest today that it's been since May of last year. Just remarkably good news. The vaccines are very promising. We've got 3 that are approved for use right now. I'll get my first dose on Monday, and there are 1 or 2 more that'll probably be coming in May. So there's a lot of reason to be optimistic. And with this, we can be back in worship safely. With this, we can be back in worship safely, and that's important because we need each other. Human beings are social animals, and we need each other. The Christian life wasn't meant to be lived in isolation apart from each other. We've sort of had an enforced isolation, and it's understandable, public health necessity, but it doesn't mean that it's good. We need each other, and this Sunday will be our opportunity to begin to reacquaint ourselves with each other, because it's been a year since there have been any number of people in worship services. So I hope that many of you will join me in worship this Sunday. It will be a great day, and as time goes by and as conditions improve, we can gradually open up some more. As time goes by and the conditions improve, we can incorporate more singing into the services. We can eventually ditch the masks. As conditions improve, we can hug each other and shake each other's hands. But for now, it'll be great to be in worship in person. Like I said, the Christian life wasn't meant to be lived in isolation. It was meant to be lived in community. So let's take this opportunity to reestablish community, to reestablish each other, and probably more so to be able to gather as one body to worship the risen Lord. I hope to see many of you in church on Sunday. Y'all have a great day.